Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The Guardian's explosive report claiming Indian government ordered killings in Pakistan as part of a wider strategy to eliminate terrorists living on foreign soil was supposed to create a storm here, but actually has fizzled out, and there are multiple reasons for it. Firstly, Ministry of External Affairs has rejected the claims, calling them false and fabricated. The Guardian report, citing unnamed intelligence officials, mentions almost 20 killings since 2020 which have been carried out by unknown gunmen in Pakistan. The second reason that this report is not making the impact that ordinarily you would have felt it would is that these so-called killings have already been the talk of the town for months last year and were discussed threadbare, with most experts rubbishing any claims of an Indian hand back then too. The report mentions some of the same alleged assassinations from 2023. That year, 7 terrorists most wanted in India were allegedly killed in Pakistan by unknown miscreants. Now, another reason why not much is being said about this report is that it relies heavily on Pakistani intelligence, and we all know what credibility they have. The more important thing is that this is coming just ahead of general elections, and while the government denies claims, there is no denying that even whispers of such actions, which no government will confess to, will only bolster the Modi government's tough image of Ghar mein Ghus ke Marenge. This vow has been reiterated by the Prime Minister on the campaign trail, and a stance echoed by none other than the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh while speaking exclusively to News18. Is this then the biggest declaration ahead of 2024 polls, and what impact may it have? That's the big question we're taking to our guests in just a bit. First up, what revelations did the Guardian report actually make? Let me break them down for you, revelation by revelation, just to give you a sense of what they're suggesting. So the report makes the stunning claim that the Indian government has ordered killings of terrorists in Pakistan. Thank God they at least refer to them as terrorists and not as some agencies are guilty of. Report cites assassinations of nearly 20 top terrorists since 2019 in Pakistan. It highlights that targeted killings have increased significantly in Pakistan in 2023, and those were discussed on Indian news channels and right here on Plain Speak last year. Guardian report says India's wider anti-terror strategy was actually stepped up post the Pulwama attack. The report further states that targets were charged with violent terror offenses, and of course they were viewed as most wanted in India. The report also states that locals were actually employed in many cases to carry out these murders in Pakistan. The Guardian also quotes some documents to show that the RNAW, the Indian agency, was directly involved in these killings. Of course, that claim has been rubbished. The Guardian highlights that Khalistani group members were targeted both in Pakistan and in the West, and this is where the Nijjar killing has also been mentioned. The Guardian report claims that the killings were orchestrated by Indian sleeper cells, and that Indian intel sleeper cells primarily are operating out of the UAE. Now, India, as I mentioned, has categorically rejected these claims made in the Guardian report. Let me just take you through what the point-by-point rebuttal by the External Affairs Ministry has been. Number one, the MEA has called the Guardian report false and fabricated. They've gone out to say that the report is malicious anti-India propaganda. This could be seen as an attempt once again to put India in the dock for the international community post the Nijjar India-Canada claims. The MEA calls the report a design to malign the image of the Prime Minister. The MEA calls the assassinations an act by Pakistan's spy agencies. And frankly, there is nothing to disprove that either. The MEA rejected the report as baseless, citing that India did not follow such a policy, not now, not before. Now, the MEA may have rubbished the report, but the larger political message is still very much the same. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh spoke exclusively to CNN News 18's editor-in-chief Rahul Joshi, and this is what he had to say.
कोई भी टेररिस्ट हमारे पड़ोसी देश से भारत को डिस्टर्ब करने की कोशिश करेगा
जी,
यहाँ पर ये आतंकवादी हरकतें करेगा तो उसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब देंगे। यदि वो भग कर पाकिस्तान में जाएगा तो पाकिस्तान में घुस कर मारेंगे।
तो ये बात आप मतलब कह रहे हैं, जो प्रधानमंत्री भी कह रहे हैं कि अब वो भारत नहीं रहा जो कि बगल में खड़े होकर तमाशा देखता रहेगा, घर में घुस कर मारेगा।
बिल्कुल, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो कहा है बिल्कुल सच कहा है, और यह ताकत है भारत की, और पाकिस्तान भी इसे समझने लगा है। वैसे भारत बराबर अपने पड़ोसी देशों के साथ अच्छे रिश्ते बनाकर रखना चाहता है, चाहे कोई भी हमारा पड़ोसी देश है। और आज देखा होगा आपने, पास्ट हिस्ट्री उठाकर देखिए कि आज तक न तो हमने दुनिया के किसी देश पर कभी आक्रमण किया है अथवा आक्रमण की कोई पहल की हो, कभी नहीं किया, और न तो दुनिया के किसी देश की 1 इंच जमीन पर हम लोगों ने कभी कब्जा करने की कोशिश की है। यह भारत का चरित्र रहा है
जी।
लेकिन भारत को बार बार कोई आंख दिखाएगा, भारत में आकर आतंकवादी गतिविधियों को बढ़ावा कर देने की कोशिश करेगा, तो उसकी खैर नहीं है।
That's a big debate coming up. Ghar mein ghus ke marenge wow is being declared once again with full bravado. So is this the biggest declaration before 2024? We'll take that to our guests in just a bit.
देख रहे हैं कि
ये मोदी है, ये नया भारत है, ये नया भारत घर में घुसकर मारता है।
इससे पहले क्या खबर आती थी कि पाकिस्तान वाले आए और घुसकर भारत में कितने लोगों की हत्या करके चले गए, तो थोड़ा हेडलाइन बदली है।
कोई आतंकवादी को लगे कि वो भारत के ऊपर हमला कर बच सकता है। मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में अब हमारा देश ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देना जानता है।
देश की सुरक्षा को लेके समाजवादी पार्टी समझती कि ये कोई राजनीति का विषय नहीं है, देश इस सबसे ऊपर है।
There is a doubt that Pulwama happened because of the instructions given by the central government. So these doubts, this continue to have these kind of doubts.
Let's go across to our guests joining us. Tom Varakan of the BJP, Mahima Singh of the Congress Party joining us, Abhijit Iyer Mitra is Senior Fellow, Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies, and Kamar Chima is Strategic and Defence Analyst joining us from Pakistan. But I want to begin with Abhijit. Abhijit, the MEA is rubbishing this report. Do you also sense that this is part of some larger international narrative building ahead of the general elections, as the MEA seems to suggest?
Thanks, Shivani. I think it's a lot worse, you see. I think it's the worst kind of yellow journalism of somebody giving somebody a handout. And this lady, without even so much as a basic fact check, has decided to put this up. Remember, till she was made South Asia correspondent, she was an art and culture correspondent with zero exposure to South Asia. Suddenly, from art and culture and covering God knows what hideous exhibition was going on in London to covering South Asia, this is the expertise of the lady in question, number one. Number two, you look at the very first image in that report.
The Riaz Ahmed one.
Now, all it took was literally less than 20 seconds to, crop that on my phone and do a reverse Google image search, and it turned out the Riaz Ahmed is alive and kicking, was actually caught by Indian police in Kashmir, and he's in jail right now. She had already killed him off in the report. Second, the kind of fact-checking in the report was so atrocious. She actually said the death of Gurpatwant Pannu. Gurpatwant Pannu, the last I checked, Shivani, was alive and kicking somewhere in New York or Canada.
Yes.
Now, not only have they changed this Gurpatwant Pannu death to Gurpatwant Pannu plot, they have also now removed the image of Riaz Ahmed. And as any creditable newspaper should do, they should always put an editorial note at the bottom to say that these changes have been made and erroneously removed. They haven't even done that. Right? So this is a case of trashy yellow journalism.
But why? Abhijit, the question arises why? And why now?
Well, look, this is your classic case of a woman not getting access in Delhi. Suddenly she got, because India tends to do this. Foreign correspondents who come here get treated like dirt. Whereas in Pakistan, anybody who lands up in Pakistan, even I have interns of mine from Australia who landed up in Pakistan who were given in those days access direct to General Parvez Musharraf. The Pakistanis treat the Goras as if there's some saviors come to save them for whatever, give them high access, and they get completely, seduced by this kind of access. So I suspect what's happened out here is some guy higher up in wherever in Islamabad has opened up to her, shown her some cooked up dossier or whatever, and she's just decided to put it hook, line, and sinker.
So, Kamar, is
And
this Pakistan's attempt to somehow play victim in the international... Yes, Abhijit, you wanted to finish very quickly?
This is not the first time it has happened. If you recollect, about 6-7 years back, there was a Washington Post correspondent here called Annie Gowan who did the exact same thing, wrote a completely Pakistani edited, Pakistani authored piece, put it up in the Washington Post, and it got banned universally because every single fact there was a fake. So
and social media fact checking is very, very fast these days. So you cannot pull any wool in the eyes of any of the readers anywhere in the world. But it's interesting. If the attempt was either to make India look bad, that is not the effect that this report is going to have. But I'm going to come to that in just a bit. But Kamar Chima, is this also Pakistan establishment's way of kind of crying victim? Oh, look what the big bad wolf India is doing to us. Not a lot of things are going in your favor. And it seems like, this is another way to kind of, latch on to that whole Niger controversy and project as if India is exceeding its boundaries.
Well, for a moment, let's keep Pakistan aside and let me tell you that what is happening in North America. So in the last 50 years, this is first time the raw operation has been closed because the Canadians, the Americans have been asking India that you are interfering, you are killing, you are trying to kill the Americans inside Canada and America. This is not what I am saying. So Matthew Miller just lectured India that you have to give a full report to America on this, that what was this, why the Indian people were involved, or why the Indian deep state was involved in killing the Americans. So forget Pakistan. It's not about Pakistan's case.
Okay, but let's come to Pakistan, because mostly Pakistani intelligence sources, so-called intelligence sources have been quoted in this report. So let's come to Pakistan.
Okay, that's fine. Now come to Pakistan. You are not happy with America and Canada because obviously...
No, we've discussed that. I've discussed that ad nauseum for weeks on end, and we have told the Americans and the Canadians the same thing we are saying today. But in any case, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The lecture by the Matthew Miller is already with the Indians and you have to respond to that. But coming to Pakistan, let me tell you, Pakistan's foreign secretary did a press briefing 2 months ago where they said that we have noticed that that there have been some suspicious killings with the same pattern, and we have informed the international community, we have informed, I think, the Indians that this must stop. So the question is that we want to ask, are you impressed by the Jamal Khashoggi's killing? Is this a matter of Ajit Doval Saab? Is this what Prime Minister Modi is propagating, who is asking sabka vikas or pata nahi kya kya bolte rehte hain? So you are talking, are you basically Gandhi Saab's India? Gandhi Saab is a man of non-violence, and you are the person, you have a leadership which is going in Canada, America and Pakistan and killing the innocent people. The
innocent people? I began my show by saying that at least the Guardian did not call them poor headmaster's son. At least the Guardian called them terrorists. Small mercies.
Your people are involved in killing, you are saying them innocents. So it means you are accepting they were not innocents, those who have been killed.
They were certainly not innocent. Many of them were most wanted in India. I'm not denying that. I'm not shedding a tear for them, but that doesn't mean I need to accept that Indians had anything to do with it.
The person who got killed in Canada was not innocent, as you are saying. The 20 people who got killed in Pakistan, they were not innocent. This is what the CNN News18 Ms. Shivani is saying. Those who have been killed, they are not innocent. So they have been
most of them were most wanted in India. I'm not going to deny that.
Is all about this.
Innocent people are not most wanted in India.
The Guardian story is all about
this. And they don't run off to Pakistan either. They don't operate their K agenda from Pakistan either.
The Prime Minister Modi and his people, they must stop killing such kind of people if they have an issue.
So Pakistan's made up its mind, of course. I don't want to go down the road of what all innocence Pakistan has produced and what all they have done in India, because that's going to be another show for another day. But I want to go across to Mahima Singh of the Congress Party. Mahima Singh, if, let's say, there was a grain of truth in this report, as some international agencies will have us believe, or at least media, would the Congress not welcome this action by the Modi government? Is this not good for India?
It is quite interesting, Shivani, how picky, choosy we can be when it comes to international reports and international acknowledgements of what's going on in India. Because I remember the whole media's reaction or the government's reaction to the Hindenburg report. And now here we are. But, before I comment on what the report holds, Shivani, I have a couple of questions to ask the BJP spokesperson. And he might as well come clean when he speaks. Will he tell us and your viewers and the country that the BJP is not the sole recipient of the 95 lakhs of the donations made through electoral bonds bought by a Pakistani company called Hub Power right around the Pulwama attack, when 40 brave soldiers of this country were dying in at behest of Pakistan, as said by the government, and there has not been any proper investigation in that. Then why does the government not come clean? Rather, they say we have not maintained any records, and then the Prime Minister beats drums about how transparent he has designed this scheme to be, which the Supreme Court busted. The second question I have to ask of the BJP spokesperson, Shivani, is that will he apologize before all of us today that an MP of his party, Pratap Simha, was the reason why Parliament security was compromised last year? There was a breach and the pass was issued on BJP MP Pratap Sinha's,
Okay, I don't want to divert the debate. So, let's just stay focused because I do have limited time. One second. You did raise the issue about the Pulwama attack. G. Parmeshwara, your minister in Karnataka, has again reiterated the same stance that somehow there's a doubt still of who was behind Pulwama. I'll give Tom Vadakan the opportunity because at the back of the report.
Just a minute. Allow me to complete my thought.
Ma'am, 30 seconds.
Third question. Third question I have. Allow me to complete my thought. My third question. I have three very solid questions. He might as well just answer those. The third question is that why do they stay silent on China when China comes out and renames locations across Arunachal Pradesh?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I have to intervene, but I cannot discuss all other issues. I have to stay focused on the issue that I'm discussing today. I won't be able to do justice either to your questions or to the subject. You've posed your questions. I'm sorry, I have to stay focused on the debate that I'm having today, which is on this report and what it means for India. But Tom Vadakan, the Congress has once again brought into question the origins of the Pulwama attack. First, you respond on that, then I'll come to this report.
Let me put this on record. I was the national spokesman of the Congress party at that time. Yes. And I stepped out, resigned, and joined the BJP. Not because of anything else. But this kind of attitude, when national pride is involved, Congress thinks of vote bank politics. And this is the kind of attitude the Congress party has. This is the same party that takes support of the PFI and other divisive forces. The High Court of Kerala admitted that the PFI and the other political group are terrorist activists. And today, do you have answers for it?
Okay.
I personally resigned on Pulwama. And I'm convinced the Congress party has betrayed the country. You have raised the question and I'm answering it. And I'm doing it with my personal guarantee.
No, I'm not sure why we're going down that road again where we're bringing up Pulwama politics back into this. And I'm not sure whether it's helping the opposition party today on the eve of the general elections. Mahima ji, I'll give you 30 seconds. I have a question for Tom Vadakan on this report. Yes, 30 seconds.
See, firstly, you are saying we are deviating from the issue.
Yeah.
I am saying when it comes to Ghar mein Ghus ke Marenge, you have to answer all these questions because you cannot talk in isolation. Secondly, when the BJP spokesperson speaks like this, I want to ask him, is he supportive of the Prime Minister seeking votes in name of Pulwama, very categorically saying कि मुझे पुलवामा के शहीदों के नाम पे वोट दीजिए. His statement is on record. Is Mr. Vadakan supportive of that?
Let's discuss. Okay, let me come back to no, I'm sorry, I'm not discussing Pulwama alone. You've made your stance clear. I want to discuss this Ghar mein ghus ke marenge declaration, because I think Mahima has brought it back to the focus of the debate today. The MEA rubbishes it, but there are, the political messaging from this government is still that yes, we will take on terrorists who harm India or India's interest, no matter where they are, and certainly in our neighborhood. Then why not say it openly?
Also about China.
Yes, Tom Vadakan, that's for you.
Okay. Look, let's be very candid. What have we said? If anybody attacks us, we will counter-attack. We will do all what we'll do. But this is a very unusual situation. 2019, this entire episode it's an old wine in a new bottle. And this is part of the toolkit of the Soros and company trying to intervene into our election process. We are competent to do anything to terrorists who enter into India. Let me get that very candid.
Ghar mein ghus ke marenge is the message, not ki India mein marenge.
घर के अंदर घुसेंगे, जब आप हमारे घर में घुसेंगे, आपके पीछे आकर हम अब मारेंगे. ये विश्वास करो देशवासियों को हमने दिया है कि अगर उन्होंने नाश इंडिया में किया है, उनका पीछे कर हम मारेंगे. सांपों को अगर आप अपने घर के पीछे पालोगे तो यही होता है. ये मैसेज साफ है.
But you are only owning up to the surgical strikes. The government is not owning up to any of these assassinations.
We are not owning up to any assassination. We are only owning up to the fact that we will defend our country when it comes to it. And now this toolkit has been operated, but when you give an injection, there is always a reaction. And the reaction is, it's gone counterproductive. That's what has happened. We are taking
but this is a toolkit that actually helps you, Tom Vadakan. Abhijit,
it may help us, but we are a Gandhian party and we do not believe in this kind of violence as the Congress party believes, because they take the support of terrorists.
You've just invoked Gandhi and Ghar mein ghus ke marenge in the same time.
Killers of Gandhi invoking Gandhi. What a farce!
Ma'am, let's not make statements like that, please. I cannot allow statements like that. Let's not call anybody a killer on the show. Ma'am, Mahima ji, please, words very careful. Abhijit, you wanted to come in on this declaration by the government. On one side, the political messaging is very clear, and this report, and we discussed it, I think you would remember, we discussed it quite a few of these killings last year, through these months from May to December. All of this was helping the Indian government.
Look, as far as I think Hannah Ellis Peterson has kind of joined the BJP in a sense without actually announcing it, because she's pretty much guaranteed 400 par for the BJP. I don't know why she thought that this was actually going to hurt the BJP. So best of luck to her and the Guardian. All help appreciated. I think Tom Vadakan should certainly consider writing a personal letter of admiration to Miss Peterson, if nothing else. But the second thing here is Pakistani Punjab, especially the urban areas, are some of the most heavily surveilled. Because of the sheer levels of terrorism, it is one of the most heavily surveilled areas on earth. Right? The CCTV camera is extensive. Notice in none of them is there any kind of video evidence of these killings. This is pretty much a case of Pakistan bumping off its own agents, which it's done very often in the past as well. So it's nothing new about this.
In fact, them trying to blame India, not realizing that it actually makes India look very good.
Well, I don't know. See, this might be, there's so many Congress people joining the BJP. I suspect now Pakistanis also want to join the BJP. Maybe the head of the ISI wants to join the BJP right now because he sees no future for himself outside of the BJP. Poor chap.
Kamar, these are basically Pakistani intelligence killings that you're somehow trying to pin on India. Come on.
Well, I think the Pakistan's case may not have been given that kind of face value of the Guardian story. Put it aside, had the Americans and Canadians not exposed you guys. So I think the Mr. Ajit Doval's policy has been badly exposed very recently, where I think they thought that killing Sikhs in America and Canada will give you a good vote bank in India, maybe, or you will call it as a muscular nationalism of Prime Minister Modi. This is what you try to portray. This is what you try to tell all the time to the people. But let me tell you, Pakistan has some sort of a patience. We have shown patience. We will show patience. And what kind of a language we are hearing, Ghus ke marenge, this and that, we know what to do. You remember what happened when the last time India tried to do that? So you were so shocked, you hit your own helicopters. So we came inside India and we hit India at that time. So we know what to do. So we do not give these kind of statements because I know the elections are in India.
So you give us proof now.
वो क्या कहते हैं इंडिया के अंदर के देखो बॉर्डर पे हालात खराब है, मुल्क के अंदर इलेक्शन चल रहे हैं. So, you know, these kind of
listen, in your assembly, in the Pakistan assembly, Pulwama was owned up for. I don't want to go down that road. Please don't get into the whole Pulwama debate. It's unfortunate it's happening in India, but I'm not going to allow that coming from Pakistan. On Pakistan's assembly, parliament floor, it was accepted and owned up, the Pulwama attack by your leaders. So no, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I want to give 30 seconds to Mahima ji as well. Mahima ji, the point is this. You know, politics is sometimes a little bit of a weird play, right? Here, the government's surgical strike record, plus the fact that it has been very strong on terrorism, virtually no terrorist attacks outside of Jammu and Kashmir territory in the rest of the country since it came to power. Its record speaks for itself. And when it says Ghar mein ghus ke marenge, the people believe it. They may not own up to these assassinations and no government will, but the public believes it. And this is a big talking point when it comes to safety of life and liberty in India, which was a stark contrast before 2014.
Shivani, I hope you will allow me a fair chance to complete my thought and present my thought uninterrupted, because I think that is the basic ethic on your channel especially. You'll see when the BJP spokesperson speaks, it's as if, you know, there are remains of the Congress values in him, because when he says BJP is a Gandhian value, it is farcical because Sardar Patel called the RSS a toxic and poisonous force. That is one thing. Now you're asking me, you know, about the India stance. I would say India has always taken up these things with all its might, and we have been very strategic. We've been known for it.
Okay.
But I am reminded of 2002 BBC interview of the Prime Minister Modi's, where Prime Minister Modi actually, when he was asked what is one thing he would like to improve upon in dealing with that sort of a riot, he said media management. That is exactly what the BJP and Prime Minister have done today. It is the media management, not their defense strategies or...
All right. Interesting you say that, policies. Because in this case, it's actually a foreign media publication, not really beholden to the Prime Minister who's actually published this report. So how it makes it look is actually on that foreign publication. I've run out of time. I've run out of time. I do thank our guests for joining us.